Okay, welcome back to another round one game of GP Guayaquil. We have Ambrose versus ALittleBlank. So Ambrose is on EurekaTell. As always, it's the same deck as last time.
And a little blanks on this mono cantrip style deck.
It's a Mina deck, I guess.
And so they found the Mina, but don't have a island to cast it.
I think they keep it anyways because they can gift and try to find an island that way.
Yeah, this is definitely a spot where them being on so many basics hurts a lot.
Yeah, I guess.
Since not getting Mina down to N1 does slow them down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, anyways, Ambrose turn one island.
Ooh. Well, that was the island.
It gets Mina down under the cursory glance too.
Not if they won't main phase it.
I mean, do you think the ALittleBlank should have main phased it?
I mean, yeah, there's no reason not to, right?
Actually, a good point. I mean, I guess
this is definitely a spot where open deck lists help a lot.
Yeah, I think ALittleBlank was just on autopilot and just, because you usually want to play your spells as late as possible, but not when your opponent can have a counter spell up if you wait.
Yeah, and even then, like most of the time it shouldn't really matter, but here it matters a ton. Though admittedly, top decking the Mystery of Craftcraft is really nice. That and Mina are probably the highest priority spells for Ambrose to counter.
Yeah, actually no. If ALittleBlank play Mina on their turn, they could have played a cantrip for free on the opponent's turn. So not playing Mina main phase is like a mistake in more ways than just one.
Yeah, with the Ops being instant speed, fair enough. Doesn't look at too poorly just because Mystery does come down unopposed.
Seek manages to hit a Seek. That's one of the few times we've seen it happen.
Yeah, so let's see if Ambrose decides to take Ramp or Forest. Decides to take Forest, probably to make these pain lands much less painful.
I guess. Do they need to though? Because like they win if they Forest Fellowship out of Turi, right? And does ALittleBlank have counter spells main deck?
Let me check. I don't believe so. No.
Exactly.
I mean, Turi, yeah, I guess Turi takes up to 8. I mean, it's definitely possible that ALittleBlank can chain together some Unceasing Flames to kill Turi.
Well, it seems like Crane is also... no, they're gonna take Tyrant instead of Crane. Wait, why?
Crane seems kind of bad into the onboard Mystery Craftcraft.
Yeah, but like Crane lets you take control of your opponent mid Forest Fellowship. Or actually, no, ALittleBlank doesn't actually have anything to drop off the Forest Fellowship, so Crane wouldn't have helped there.
Yeah. So this Mystery is going to flip, and it's going to start making a ton of tokens. So even though Tyrant and Cherry are both like good cards, they do get pretty heavily diminished by the amount of tokens this Mystery will probably end up making.
And there's Axolotl that's coming down for free.
Yeah, so ALittleBlank will need to hit another land here to make use of the Plaxolotl, but that shouldn't be too hard with the amount of cantripping they're doing.
They're going to discard Secrets of the Coralite Court. I guess that makes sense. You want to reprise it, I guess.
So imagine what will try to happen here is for ALittleBlank to find a land off this opt.
Yeah.
And then hit the Plaxolotl. Hopefully it's a blue source so that you can copy the oracles on mission. And then start getting this Unceasing Flames going.
I mean, they can also just play out Mina and then play Axolotl because like it only requires spells. It's not instant or sorcery. And then
that's true.
And then opponent's turn, they can opt for free. But they're not going for it for some reason. Am I missing something?
I think they're looking for the third land.
Yeah, but like they could have just guaranteed an Axolotl plus a free spell if they played Mina instead.
Well, now they get to Mina and Plaxolotl and get a free spell.
Okay, yeah, I guess that works. And they flipped Epsilon, I guess. I mean, they already did that a while ago, but in case you haven't noticed yet, they flipped Mystery. So now they're getting creatures off other spells too.
Yeah, and this Crystal Cavern draw is also really important since I think...
Wait, what? Excuse me? Why are you not playing Mina? I mean, they could play Oracle's Emission for free off the Mina on the opponent's turn, right?
Yeah, that seems like a pretty large mistake, considering they won't be able to use the Plaxolotl trigger.
Yeah, and now Tyrant of Tributes is going to wipe half of ALittleBlank's board.
I don't think they're too upset about that.
I mean, they still have to...
1/1s.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess.
Well, I guess it hits a land too, but...
Well, they can sack Epsilon if they don't know what they're doing.
I should thought they do not sack Epsilon. Epsilon seems like the most important card on board here.
Actually, if Ambrose decides to Forest Fellowship instead of Answer Midnight's Call for some reason, then ALittleBlank can dump the Mina and then get a free Oracle's Emission.
That seems really not great.
I agree, but it's something that it can do.
Trigger doesn't resolve until Fellowship finishes resolving, though.
Yeah, doesn't ALittleBlank have an odd number of permanents? So they could have just played down one more thing and then get the same number of sacks off the Tyrant.
Well, yeah, okay, but Force Fellowship is like not a real. The downside is not real versus EurekaTell. At least not in this matchup.
Maybe ALittleBlank's banking on the fact that Ambrose doesn't have a second big thing in hand.
That seems incredibly desperate.
Yeah, I agree. But it was something that they can do. Not that they should have done, but it's something that they could have done.
So which land do you like sacking here? The island or the mountain? Or I guess
Crystal Caverns.
Wait, really? You'd sack the Crystal Caverns?
Actually, no, good point. It's sacked them. Well, I guess I don't have to. No, wait. They should have sacked the mountain because Mina and Oracle's mission.
Well, presumably they want to cast a mission on their next turn, so it doesn't actually matter on this current turn.
Yeah, so I guess
like the island just because you want to be stacking up Unceasing Flames as much as possible.
Yeah, so I guess they play Mina and then Unceasing Flames for free, right? Yeah. No, wait. Mina uses up the free enchantment. So
yeah, Mina doesn't free cast on the turn she comes down.
So basically, you Unceasing Flames now to shuffle in 6 Unceasing Flames, and then you play Mina, and then next turn, on opponent's turn, you Oracle's Mission, exile 12 cards from your deck, and then now you're drawing just Unceasing Flames.
Yeah, there's also maybe the outside line of like attacking with Epsilon first, because if you do copy the Unceasing Flames, it does 5 in total.
Right.
Which isn't quite enough to kill Tyrant, but that's probably just worse than getting more tokens off Epsilon, just to make sure you have stuff to sack to... Actually, I guess Ambrose is only on 2 Tyrant, right? Oh, they're on 3.
Well, anyways, yeah, Unceasing Flames. Hopefully ALittleBlank stacks it correctly so that... Wait, no, yeah, it's only going to deal 2 twice because the copy goes off first.
Copy is not conjured. So this does seem like ALittleBlank is... At least the deck is really doing what it's meant to be doing.
Yeah, I mean, they could have done a lot better if they sequenced better, because they could have gotten a lot of free casts if they played out the Mina earlier.
Well, I think they just are getting 1 additional free cast. I guess with the turn 1 Mina.
Yeah.
Running into Canada. Though I don't think it ended that badly considering
they ALittleBlank's going to pass turn without playing Mina again. Maybe do they not understand how Mina works?
Might just be missing that you get free cast on both turns.
Yeah, that's a pretty big misread, if I'm being honest, because you're basically losing half the power of the card.
This ends up being really bad because they'll miss the Plaxolotl copy if they play Mina.
Yeah.
I guess if they just go straight for Oracle's mission, it's probably fine.
But then they miss out on...
Yeah, I don't know why they don't want to play Mina.
Okay, so now if you drop a Mina, then there's no downsides because your opponent's on all lands right now.
Well, maybe if ALittleBlank had Social Graces, but that's not the case here. So again, it would be a bit foolish to put a permanent down, even if it doesn't end up costing you.
I mean, what's the chances that Ambrose has more big stuff in hand, right? Okay, fine.
Like, do you want the actual chances? What, 12?
I mean, ALittleBlank's thinking right now, so I guess we have time to talk about stuff. Ambrose -3's Turi, gaining 8 life.
You're just looking at a random card in Ambrose's hand being a fatty. It's 50%.
Wait,
another one.
50%? Is it that high?
Yeah, I mean, Ambrose is on 12 fatties. Like, I'm not doing precise calculations for the specific situation, but that sounds about right.
Huh.
20% chance you get to try it 3 times.
Yeah, I guess.
0.8 times 0.8, 64 times 0.8. Yeah, basically exactly 50.
And Ambrose's attack.
So here the Raga's Gambit does really clearly deal with the Turi.
Yeah, but wait, excuse me, ALittleBlank? That was not the right time to play Mina.
So they do hit an island, which is pretty good draw considering they're a bit tight on mana.
Okay, so they've precast the Rogars here and kill the Turi.
Yeah, actually, wait, you can get an Epsilon copy if you want it, which is kind of neat.
Oh yeah, good point.
Or you can reprise the Secrets of Coral Lake Coast for the Hatzos Maneuver.
Actually, yeah, good point too. Like, ALittleBlank gets some really good options here.
Yeah, I guess with Plaxolotl, they actually swing a lot of tokens if they reprise the Hatzos Maneuver, since the copy will also have the reprise text.
Yeah.
So you end up getting 6 tokens here, plus the 1 from Epsilon.
So you get to chump track him for basically forever.
Like, forget about jumping Kraken. I think ALittleBlank probably just is winning the race, especially considering they're on burn when Ambrose is not.
Right. But ALittleBlank needs to find that line first. I'm not sure if ALittleBlank realizes that they can't do that.
Having mana is a good sign for reprising, whether that's the secrets or the hat throws.
Okay, good. They're absolutely. Okay, good. You got it. So yeah, they get to kill Turi and then throw 3 damage at face.
Yeah, so Ambrose seems to really need probably a Vela is probably good enough, yeah. Maybe a second Tyrant is too.
Yeah.
Though this is definitely showing kind of a weakness of EurekaTell, where they do kind of need these baddies to win. So against a deck with like a big turbo engine, like ALittleBlanks, they're kind of a sitting duck.
Right, and Ambrose not swinging in with Tyrant last turn. Do you think that was a mistake?
Probably, just because they're on so much life. ALittleBlank, I don't think has any way to block Tyrant.
Yeah.
And Tyrant is a 3-turn clock. So now I think we'll see whether ALittleBlank has read Mina as only their turn or not by the end of the turn.
Yeah.
Since it seems like casting Oracle's Omniscience would be a very good play. On the other side of the table, Ambrose doesn't really have much going on at all.
I think here you just play Into the Woods to thin and then pass the turn and hope for the best. Do you swing with Tyrant? Do you need to block? Because like your opponent's guys are pretty small, so blocking doesn't really prevent all that much damage. So you might as well just try to clock down your opponent instead.
Yeah, I'm not sure what Ambrose's win condition is here.
Top deck a big guy.
Well, what big guy though? I guess that's another Tyrant does gain them a whole load of life, as well as really set back ALittleBlank's clock.
Actually, they have enough mana now that top decking with their big guys would also be good.
But it feels like I guess maybe you do just need to swing here, or else you're just kind of always losing.
Yeah. Also, if Ambrose played Answered Midnight's Call instead of Force Fellowship early, they could have coalesced Answered Midnight's Call sometime down the line just to get a big guy into play. Like, it's 6/7 isn't that bad.
Well. I don't know. It's pretty bad.
It's better than nothing, I guess, or better than just playing Answered Midnight's Call, playing nothing into play in order to coalesce it later.
Like, it's bad enough that, like, mind you, though, still 2 mana off of coalescing, and there was lines like Answer Midnight Calling of Velia, in which hardcasting Velia is a lot worse if you want a -5,
yeah,
or whatever. So if you draw the absolute nuts and you draw 2 fatties and another cheat spell, getting that additional 4 mana from Answer Midnight Calling. But I guess in your case, they have Force Fellowship in hand, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Well, anyways, ALittleBlank does end up turning Oracle's Mission for free, so it seems like they do know that Mina lets you free cast your opponent's turn. So that really makes us question why ALittleBlank didn't do that earlier, I guess. And let's see, what did they exile? I guess a bunch of lands, which makes sense. Like, this is so you know how fetch lands don't really thin your or fetch lands thin your deck doesn't help all that much. Well, this sort of deck thinning definitely does.
Yeah, I think they might be on 0 lands in deck at the moment.
Well, time for Ambrose to bring out their land destruction and master ALittleBlank.
They have 2 lands left in deck, if I'm counting correctly.
Well, it seems like they've drawn the Crystal Cavern, even though they've exiled basically all their lands.
Yeah, so ALittleBlank is on a block here. I think they should still be absolutely fine, especially considering they have Gambit in Graveyard, so they can always actually just kill the Tyrant Tributes if they want.
I mean, ALittleBlank plays Gambit, reprises Gambit onto Gambit, and shoots everything at face or something.
Yeah, so that will deal 8. So they could shoot everything face. That might actually just be safer to kill the Tyrant.
Yeah.
In case of a second Tyrant coming down, since that will really obliterate any kind of clock ALittleBlank has. Yeah, decides to kill the Tyrant.
Okay. Then I guess on their opponent's turn, they can see crits for free and draw 2 cards. Or no, they can play a land, and on their opponent's turn, they can see crits, reprise secrets to draw 4 cards.
Yeah, and at that point, especially considering they're drawing basically all gas, doesn't really seem like there's a way out of it for Ambrose, since even a Tyrant draw probably isn't good enough.
And okay, and now there's some confusion about whether you can split damage or not. The answer is yes, you can split the damage because they're different effects. Okay, good. Ambrose realizes that it works properly, so yeah, I guess we can move on with the game now.
It feels like, outside of some very insane combination cards from Ambrose, like a Velia into a Tyrant Tributes, this game feels a bit locked up.
Dang.
So looking at sideboards, or I guess Ambrose first, I imagine they want more counter spells here.
Well,
Fail Pierce, Neutralize, probably? Stand Unassailable, maybe? I don't know.
yeah,
This is kind of a
well,
weird matchup.
I'm still looking at the game right now, so I'm not looking at the sideboard right now. ALittleBlank swings everything in at Ambrose. Ambrose eats up 1 tokens and goes down to 10. But yeah, so let's see, sideboarding.
Yeah, so Ambrose has counters and a stand unassailable, which this doesn't strike me as a stand unassailable matchup, kind of,
Yeah,
which is a bit weird.
definitely. Okay, Ambrose concedes. Nice. So let
And then on
me.
the other side, ALittleBlank has 4 spell pierce, which seems excellent here.
Yeah. What does Reckless Research do again?
I
Not
think
good.
it's an attrition card, which seems not necessary here.
Yeah. And then Expunge the Terrors. Wait, what the heck is an Expunge the Terrors for? Big guys, I guess? I mean, you can madness it and then kill something by delving, basically.
Actually, what's the mana cost on Expunge the Terrors if you madness it and exile like 3 cards? Is it CMC 1 still?
Good point. Ask the judge.
Huh.
But yeah, going back to Ambrose's board, since I haven't really gone it off yet, there's Neutralize, there's Stand Unstable, there's Spell Pierce, there's Curse Glance, there's Portal Fracture. And yeah, that's the cards in Ambrose's sideboard.
Yeah, I imagine they are bringing the Spell Pierce and Neutralize even just for the Spell Pierces.
Yeah.
ALittleBlank. Curse Glance and Portal Fracture probably good too, I imagine.
I mean, yeah, they're counter spells. I mean, well, actually, it's Car good because Car, like, your opponent makes a bunch of tokens and can drip. Oh, it doesn't kill creatures. Never mind, it's bad.
I mean, it deals with an unflip mystery. Actually, it kills lands, which seems really good,
Oh,
good
right.
here, to be honest.
You play Car and then you massacre your opponent after they exile their lands.
I mean, granted, you're not super likely to hit. I guess you're like probably a 67% hit.
Okay, it seems like Ambrose did board in Stand Unassailable.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. It is a bit weird because the like is on a kind of burny deck, but burn feels like a secondary win condition that's just kind of going through the motions in actual primary game time.
Yeah.
So ALittleBlank has a bunch of lands on Gift the Phoenix.
Yeah, that's pretty solid. You fetch, or no, you play Mountain Gift and then you discard Mountain.
Interesting that Ambrose was leading on the Gleaming River rather than the Precursor Sanctum.
I guess they just want to fetch out other colors first. There's turn 1 gift.
Yeah, I guess they need to find the second green source for this Force Fellowship.
Yeah. Wait, but if they do that, they can't turn 4 Force Fellowship anyways.
Why can't they?
Because Precursor Sanctum is tapped, right? Oh, they can turn 3 to Precursor Sanctum, I guess.
So I guess it doesn't end up mattering. Just when do you want to play each tap land?
Yeah, and I guess they're going to try to turn 2 Stand Unassailable.
Yeah, no reason not to. I guess they could draw a counter, they probably pull that up.
Or they Seek Prophecy, maybe.
Yeah, Seek Prophecy plus Precursor Sanctum seems to make some sense.
I'd probably go for that just because, well, no, there's no chance of getting a turn 3 Force Fellowship because you won't be able to cast a ramp spell that you hit off this thing.
Yeah.
But at the same time, does ALittleBlank have a way to stop the Force Fellowship from coming out?
I mean, they will get 2 turns, so they'll fetch an island with its Wayfarer's Shrine. They have opt to search for a Spell Pierce.
2 Valiers.
And Valier is probably the best card for Ambrose in this matchup, besides, maybe it's probably better than Tyrant, right?
Yeah, actually, yeah, because it just kills something on the plus.
Blowing up an Epsilon or whatever seems nice. Like, 10 loyalty is very unreasonable to kill through burn. But also just the token having Vigilance and Lifelink, as well as Flying and Trample, is just really hard for ALittleBlank to deal with.
Yeah.
Those +2/+2 in stats over Tyrant seems pretty important.
So here, I think we see what you see ALittleBlank's deck kind of struggling if they don't drive their payoffs because right now all they're doing is spinning in their wheels, cantripping.
Yeah, I feel like the opening hand might have wanted to be a mulligan. Like 4 lands in a deck with 17 lands seems a bit overkill, even with the Gift the Phoenix.
Right, but I guess they just didn't want to take the risk, and they're gonna Hatzo's maneuver now. I guess in order to reprise it later.
Well, they'll even hold on to it, I think.
Yeah.
They do have Frogger's Gambit plus Unceasing Flames as burn they can play.
And since ALittleBlank doesn't have anything to do, they don't get the absolutely blazing start that they had last game in order to get an overwhelming advantage against Ambrose.
Get some card advantage flying. But in the last game, they just won the late game. They didn't even need to kind of mess around.
Yeah, but the reason they won the late game was because they got their payoffs.
Yeah, so we'll see if ALittleBlank can find their payoffs off this opt, which will presumably cast end of turn.
They need to dig for a counter spell, I think.
Yeah, spell pierce will be great here, since it will stop Ambrose from putting any pressure down. Though this Precursor Sanctum will be able to flip the cherry next turn.
Right. Oh, and they draw a land. That's really unfortunate. Alright, so they can get the Axolotl down, but they won't be able to cast anything off of it because, they're a sorcery.
Yeah, unfortunately, they need to cast Oracles on mission to get the Plaxolotl down.
You just hold on to the Plaxolotl until you have something you can cast off it, because otherwise it just gets killed.
Well, what's killing it?
Valir? Oh wait, Valir can't kill it. Never mind.
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, one of the times something like Azos might be useful.
Well, I think ALittleBlank should have Rogar's Gambited, because that means next turn they can Axolotl, play Unceasing Flames, and reprise Rogar's Gambit onto it and kill the Valir or the Valir token.
So I think this is a bit of a sequencing error on ALittleBlank's part, playing the mountain down before playing the Oracle's Omniscient, because they can just very easily hit a spell pierce off the top, and they're left with this mountain, which can't cast it.
Good point. They don't get punished for it. Oh, and they even get to free cast this thing, or they get to copy it off the Axolotl because it's an instant.
With the line of ALittleBlank took, maybe the best draw.
Still won't be able to kill Valir, though.
Yeah. Is there any chance that ALittleBlank can just kill Ambrose before the Valir matters?
Absolutely not, I don't think. I mean, like, how much damage are they pumping out?
This Oration is dealing 4 end of turn.
Yeah.
Gambit's dealing 6 with the Hatswills reprised onto it, and then they draw, like, top deck another Oration, which does another 4. That's 14. That's not bad.
Still think they should have played Rogar's instead of Unceasing Flames, just so that they can reprise Rogar's earlier.
Well, they get Unceasing Flames in deck.
Yeah, but like,
seems nice.
But like only 3 Unceasing Flames. I feel like getting Rogar's into yard matters more than shuffling Unceasing Flames. And plus, if you've Unceasing Flames the Axolotl, you get even more Unceasing Flames.
I guess that's true. Though, as we noticed last time, the Plaxolotl does not work super well with Unceasing Flames.
Wait, it doesn't?
Well, I mean, it's 2+2 instead
of... But like, you get to shuffle 6 copies. I think that's already good enough.
Actually, no, ALittleBlank has a really cute line here. Not that's good, but Plaxolotl will copy the Brimstone Oration if it's cast off Foretell, right?
Yeah.
Actually, Foretell is copyable property, right? So if ALittleBlank goes land, Foretell, Ambrose upkeep, cast it, both target tokens, that will deal enough to kill the elemental, right?
Go ask the judge. I'm not sure if you can copy that. Well, I guess they can do it if you want them to.
Doesn't matter, but I guess a top declaration means that maybe it comes up.
Yeah, like they foretell Oration, cast Oration, kill Elemental, swing and kill Valir.
Well, they can't foretell plus.
Oh, right. Right.
Yeah, foretell is a trap card, so you can't use it on the same turn you set it.
Well, no, that's still fine. You foretell the Brimstone Oration and you cast it on your opponent's turn and kill the token, and then I mean, a Valir on 1 isn't that bad, right? Like, all you can do is kill something. You don't have the Red Warrior out for it to kill.
Yeah, I guess.
But
Besides
they're not
just to cast it. Decides not to reprise Hatsu's maneuver, which strikes me as this Brimstone Oration is getting foothold. Or not? Huh?
It's gonna get cast, I guess. Wait, what? Never mind. They're trying to reprise Rogar's Gambit onto the Brimstone Oration, and that will kill the Elemental. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, I see, yeah. That's a nice play. Getting 8 damage off it.
It does mean that they're left with nothing in hand, though. Oh, and they can, Ambrose can spell pierce that play, so AmbroseWinters can get blown out by it. Yeah,
this is pretty sad state of affairs.
And other L stuff.
Oh, I guess Ambrose lets through.
Wait, what? I guess they're planning on using Precursor Sanctum this turn instead?
I mean, I guess that's fine, but Terry seems not really that great here. I mean, it's probably winning still, but with the top deck burn spell from ALittleBlank, it is kind of scary.
Yeah.
We saw Terry in the last game just kind of not do anything.
Plus, like, Spell Pierce preserves Ambrose's resources better, because that means they still have the token that ALittleBlank has to deal with, and then Terry can come down next turn.
Yeah, and again, you gain the 8 life from the token. And here they're losing 2 from Painlands.
And then gaining 8 off Terry.
Yeah. So ALittleBlank does definitely need to draw out of this, but they do have 6 lands exiled. as well as 2 in their graveyard. So that's only 4 lands up in deck, considering the one in hand.
So what's the chances?
About 90% to draw a spell.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Granted, that spell's a Mina or a Plaxolotl or a Mystery. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
But kind of any burn spell or cantrip is pretty good.
Any cantrip, they can reprise, or no, they don't have secrets right now, right? Right.
Yeah, so I don't think I mentioned what I expected ALittleBlank to do, which was foretell the Brimstone Oration. And then on the following turn, they have 5 mana, so they can foretell Brimstone Oration. It gets copied from the Plaxolotl, but they can reprise Hatzor's Maneuver.
Right.
So it's dealing 10 and they get 10 tokens.
Well, now they can Unceasing Flames, reprise Hatzor's Maneuver onto it, and kill Turi, make a bunch of chump blockers for Kraken. So it's the same thing as last game.
Even better, where they can Unceasing Flames, reprise Hatzor's, and kill the Kraken, and then attack into the Turi.
Oh wait, they can't do that. Wow, that's...
And then Ambrose is kind of just stone out of luck.
Yeah, like if Ambrose played Spell Pierce instead last turn, then even if that happened on Elemental, then Ambrose still had Turi left over.
Yeah, and it doesn't seem like... I mean, Ambrose does have outs here with Velia -5, getting like a Tyrant Tribute or something, but they need to... It seems like they need a pretty specific set of outs, hitting the cheat spell into hitting a Tyrant off the top.
Yeah.
Besides not to clear the Kraken.
I mean, they're just going to chump block the Kraken for eternity, I guess.
I guess, but I think this just ends up being worse.
I agree. Maybe ALittleBlank just didn't realize that they could have killed Turi by attacking.
Yeah, maybe. It's probably not a big deal regardless, since Ambrose is still a bit hooped here without a fairly good set of draws coming off the top. Since now ALittleBlank has like 15 Unceasing Flames in deck.
Yeah, but I mean, they can just top deck one of their cheat spells. Or, wait, they brought Cower in.
Well, that seems really good here. So I think they're pretty happy about that.
Yeah, and they even get to help Spell Pierce in case ALittleBlank tries to go for some more reprise shenanigans.
So it seems like the only choice... I mean, yeah, the only choice is to cow.
Do you cow and kill a land?
We don't have any other choices, so...
You can cow and plus.
I guess so. Cow plus seems just worse than, like it's like you're minusing mainly for the look at top 4, trying to find a permanent, right?
Right. So I guess you killed the island to master ALittleBlank.
Yeah, that seems to be what's happening. If you find another cow, you can kill the other island.
And since
Which would be pretty brutal.
Since ALittleBlank already exiled out of the lands, you know, make them pay for... oof, Valir off the top. That's a huge swing.
So now, is this really a -5ing, or is it -3ing?
-5 because you can play the other Valir from hand, and you get to draw 3 cards. Wait, huh? Don't you want to cast more spells? I mean, I would -5 here just to draw more cards.
I mean, I guess Ambrose is really close to casting the second Valir.
Good point, but like, you can't really cast a second Valir when you already have a Valir in play, unless you -5 and then cast a second Valir.
Well, ALittleBlank's pretty obligated to kill this Valir, right?
Right. Oof, Spell Pierce a turn late. No, Spell Pierce wouldn't have helped here. Okay, that was a huge swing. Man.
You know, that Valir token also puts a little blank on what's basically a two-turn clock, because that's 17, right?
Yeah, so it turns out Kara ends up coming through in the end, even though...
Yeah, that was a great top deck from Ambrose.
Even though, like, we were initially not certain if you should have boarded in or not.
Yeah, maybe just the fact that it hits such a great hit versus Hatzor's maneuver makes it good enough. But really, at the same time, I'd almost expect Hatzor's maneuver to be boarded out here on ALittleBlank. I'm a bit curious what they end up boarding out. Maybe Secrets of the Crawlet Court instead.
So let's look at ALittleBlank's hand. How much is a turn to Axolotl worth? Because that's basically the question you're asking when you're keeping this hand.
How good is turn 2? 3 Plaxolotls. Answer's as good as a 1, but...
You can discard one from off the gift.
Yeah, this seems good enough, since, yeah, the gift, as you mentioned, can get rid of it, but extra Plaxolotl, as well as find you something cast off it.
Yeah. Is Ambrose still thinking?
Ambrose moves to 6. Mine's an okay hand.
I'd keep this.
I guess this is about what perfect for a 6-card hand.
I mean,
maybe Cow would have preferred to be something else, but
yeah. Well, I mean, that's 2 Answer Midnights. Oh yeah, fun fact: Answer Midnight's call can put in other Answer Midnight's calls if you really want to.
Somehow I don't think that's the best thing to be doing in this matchup, but definitely could be relevant.
Yeah. Also, a random other fact about Answer Midnight's call. it makes you exile the thing when it leaves play. And I don't think most people have been doing that.
Yeah, pushing an Ambrose it doesn't matter at all. So
Yeah, but like you can really stack up some game rule violations for that if you want to.
2 lands off the Gift the Phoenix for ALittleBlank.
That's fine. I mean, like...
Yeah, but after Spell Pierce on the draw step, there's not currently anything that ALittleBlank has to Plaxolotl.
Well, let's see what they draw off Oracle's Mission. Okay, there we go.
Just found a Hatso is not the best thing to copy in this matchup.
Yeah, especially when your opponent has a card in hand.
Yeah, definitely. Might have even been like an idea to side it out.
Yeah, you're right.
That Ambrose sided in Carl.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned that.
But I mean, like, even just responding to the game 2.
Right.
Even if you're not sure that if Ambrose is siding in Carl.
Right. Well, Ambrose fetches a basic island to turn off, I guess, the Marine Falls into the woods for probably a blue-green land. So
the spell space from ALittleBlank will stop Ambrose from doing anything on one turn, basically.
Yeah. Ooh, Mina, nice.
Well, I don't think that's what ALittleBlank wants to see here. We would like to see something more impactful to Plaxolotl.
Well, no, but ALittleBlank gets to play Mina at main phase and Spell Pierce for free, I guess. And it's going to be copied. So, you know. Actually, how cheap is Kyle right now if ALittleBlank plays Mina?
If ALittleBlank plays Mina, it'd be 4.
Okay, maybe you can bait Ambrose into just hardcasting Carl, because Answer Benedict's cards with nothing else in hand is a lot worse than just getting one of the Answer Benedict's cards countered.
Yeah, the thing is that ALittleBlank has no idea what Ambrose has in hand.
Right.
And like... Yeah.
Ambrose is not going to go for it.
He decides not to play the Answer's Midnight Call to try and put in Carl.
Well, they get time tributes. Yeah. They have 2 Answer Benedict's calls, so they could have baited a counter spell with one of them.
Yeah. And then if it resolves, you can cower the mountain and try to hit off the top.
And if it gets countered, maybe ALittleBlank plays out more stuff and he gets to get to hardcast Carl next turn.
Yeah, maybe more importantly, Spell Pierce would no longer be in ALittleBlank's hand, which is definitely a pivotal card here.
Ooh, there we go.
Ooh, that's a good draw.
Yeah, you get to exile 12 cards, so that's the rest of your lands, in case...
And importantly, draw 2. So, thoughts on Reprising Hatso's maneuver or not here?
Well, it seems like ALittleBlank's can go for it.
So, that will get them 2 tokens.
So that's like... Is Carl just 2 mana now?
Looks like it, yeah. 6 permanents.
I mean, Ambrose can just hardcast Carl and then -4, flip a land, and then answer Benedict's Call in the Tyrant if they really want to.
Well, they're only on 5 mana on this coming turn,
yeah,
so they can't do both.
No, they can play Carl and then -4 to flip a land, right?
Yeah, but if Carl's countered, then Answer's Midnight Call is not castable.
Right. And I guess Ambrose is playing around counters right now because they didn't go for Answer Benedict's Call last turn.
Yeah, maybe just didn't want to risk spinning the wheel on Carl last turn.
Yeah.
Since if you answer Midnight's Call, put in Carl, and then miss off the -4, that's really bad.
Yeah.
But I guess they would have the follow-up of Seek Prophecy plus Answer Midnight's Call next turn. So maybe they are just playing around counter spells here.
Seems like ALittleBlank is going to start exiling their Hatso's maneuvers.
So finds Brimstone and secrets the Collect Court off of the Oracle's Omniscience.
That's pretty good.
Brimstone seems really nasty here, considering Ambrose is on 9. And actually the game is just over here, right? Since Spell Pierce will stop anything Ambrose tries to do.
Right. Answer Benedict's Call?
There's no way you let this resolve, right?
Of course not. ALittleBlank's just pretending to think because they want to give Ambrose hope that they crush immediately once they reveal their Spell Pierce.
So, I mean, if Ambrose did go for the Answer Midnight's Call last turn, they would have forced the Spell Pierce from ALittleBlank, and then on this following turn, they would have definitely been able to force one through, considering ALittleBlank didn't find the second one.
Yeah. So, and then I guess game would probably be a toss-up at that point, because ALittleBlank still has a lot of stuff in play. Like, they have the Plaxolotl plus Mina engine going, and they've already exiled half their deck.
Yeah, what if Ambrose... I guess Ambrose would have had the choice of putting in either Tyrant Attributes or the Carl.
Or, they can try to just hardcast Carl and try to flip a land. And if they miss with Carl, then that means they probably hit a big guy. So, like, they have to miss either a land plus a big guy in order for that play to be
I guess
bad.
That's true. Yeah, that's a neat line. And even though ALittleBlank does have Brimstone Foretell plus cast off Foretell on Ambrose's upkeep, which would be copied, that would take up all their mana and only do 8, while Ambrose stays at 9.
Yeah.
So definitely a bit of a toss up if Ambrose to decide to go for the Answer's Midnight Call last turn instead of Seek Prophecy.
Yeah, definitely.
And I guess you mentioning that Kyle can hit lands too means that Answer Midnight Call putting Kyle can't really miss, because chances are you hit either a fatty, which would be great, or a blue source to Seek Prophecy anyways.
Yeah.
Well, that's not the way it went.
Well, at least those were some really close and interesting games with lots of decision points.
Yeah, it definitely kind of highlighted the strength of a ALittleBlank's deck. Being such a powerful engine, so many cheap cards. The burn spells really going over the top of Ambrose's deck, kind of funnily.
Yeah.
With the deck on mono 1-drops, basically. Beating the deck, putting into play 8-drops.
And somehow actually killing the 8-drops with their burn spells being copied a bunch.
Yeah, it does kind of highlight how not winning the game immediately with this EurekaTell shell definitely has some pretty big downsides. It's not like you can just put in a fatty in every matchup and just eventually win.
Yeah.
And guarantee a win in 3 to 4 turns.
And Ambrose mentioned that they think they greeted in game 3. I guess they're probably talking about the turn 4 not going for Answer Midnight's Call. They wanted to play on counter spells, but they
just played into it by not playing around it.
Yeah, same mistake that I make when I skip my turn 3 against counter spell decks.
Yeah, especially on decks that don't have many counter spells, like especially Spell Pierce. Like they're gonna hit the Spell Pierce eventually. Right? There's no playing around Spell Pierce. You just need to kind of eat it.
Yeah. I guess Ambrose was trying to pay for Spell Pierce by waiting, but yeah, that didn't work out.
Yeah, but with the Plaxolotl in play, that's paying for is pretty unreasonable. This matchup also does would be much easier if Ambrose had Azos.
Yeah.
A card I'm a huge fan of.
Or if they had Weeping Lotus and Pronouncer Preserves instead of.
I don't think those cards are as big a deal in this matchup. But Azos just completely obliterates some decks, such as ALittleBlank's, since it not only Plague wins the opponent, but also forces them to discard their hand, even exiles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just your dose of Azos propaganda. Play Azos, it's a good card.
Yeah. Well, anyways, that's the game. Yeah.